The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Indiana Pacers coming back from a 4-game road trip. Can the Chicago Bulls get a win or continue to lose and help the tank? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. Y'all, the Chicago Bulls are taking on the Indiana Pacers. Chicago Bulls coming into this game 29-46. The Indiana Pacers 17-58. This is a team that the Chicago Bulls have lost to already this season a number of times. As a matter of fact, the last time they faced each other was January 28th in that game, and the Indiana Pacers won that 113-110. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the Chicago Bulls have won a single game in this series at all this season. So the Indiana Pacers can sweep the season series today coming up against the Chicago Bulls. Are they going to do it? We shall see if that ends up happening overall. But this, I'm glad to just be able to talk about basketball. There's been a lot of bullshit going on around the Chicago Bulls. It's been crazy. But yeah, it's been ridiculous, man. It's honestly been ridiculous to see this team and what they've been doing here, man. I mean, it's been so much just non-basketball stuff around this team. It's disappointing as the Bulls season has been. It's crazy to see that at this point in the season, with 7 games left, how crazy this season has been. How absolute crazy, like this Jaden Ivey shit, the Billy Donovan shit, everything around has just been crazy to see this season. So we'll continue to see how it goes on. Rejection in the expansion draft after swapping the 17th pick with the Fire's 21 picks and the 26th pick to the tempo. Both expansion teams have agreed not to select any Sky players Friday as a result of these moves. Not the Chicago Sky out here making trades. I'm gonna have to do a Chicago Sky Central episode here, so I'll be covering that here in a second. But hey, we got Anthony Vargas in the building. Says, "What up, bro? It's game day." Absolutely. What's going on, Leon? DJ, bro, I like your outfit. You gotta let us know what shoes. First of all, I'm in the house in the basement, nigga. You think I got shoes on? I barely got pants on. I got shorts on, my boy. I'm comfortable as hell. Now, if I was going out, I got special edition Jordan 1s that are red on one side, black on the other. I probably would wear that because of the hat. I'd probably would wear it because of the hat if I was going outside. I'm in the house, though. I'm chilling right now. Battle of the Tanks should be a good game tonight, Haize. Man, this game has the chance to be ugly. Very, very ugly. So we'll see how that works out. I still can't believe we gave up all of our players. I can. I'm not surprised by it. Like I'm at this point, I'm not really surprised by much for the Chicago Bulls. Like disappointed, of course, at times by this team. Like no doubt about that. I'm not going to act like I haven't been utterly disappointed by this team at times. But as far as like completely shocked at this point, man, weirder shit has happened. Is all I can say. Weirder shit has happened. And we just got to see what's going to happen with it this offseason. You have a chance for an actual reset. Let's see if the Bulls take advantage of it, man. The Ayo trade will be the AK's downfall long term. I doubt it. Like, listen, Ayo's great. Make no mistake about it. Ayo's great. But I doubt it's going to be the downfall of AK long term. If anything, it's going to be more so missing on draft picks. Like, you miss on a first-round pick in this draft on top of the ones you've already missed on, that would be a downfall. Like, don't get me wrong, Ayo's great, and I love Ayo, and I wish Ayo was still a Chicago Bull. Absolutely, make no mistake about it. But that's not the type of trade that, like, I mean, in that case, like, you could, the Caruso trade could have got, well, I guess we got Josh Giddey at least back for Caruso, but we'll see. I think you got to keep in mind, too, like, us as Bulls fans have this huge affinity for Ayo Dosunmu, and now Minnesota Timberwolves fans are starting to understand what they got in Ayo, too, but, it is what it is, man. I see the Bulls start from fresh and get rid of everybody except Giddey and Modest. That's basically what they did. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, people say that, like, get rid of, like, all we other have is good pieces around him. Trey Jones and Jalen Smith are just two really good players to have around your young guys. Like, you're never going to completely clear the deck and not have any vets. Like, Trey and Jalen are on team-friendly contracts, which is what you want while you're trying to hope that your young players develop. So, like, there's no point in the whole thing of let's trade everybody and clear the deck. Like, no, we basically already did that. I think we good at this point. Giddey out. Mike McClung may get minutes. If he'd already have to be activated. Like, I know they're in Chicago, but are the Windy City Bulls in Chicago? I don't know. Like, off the top of my head, I don't know. I was saying about a year ago that AK's agenda seemed at odds with Billy and ownership. Seems like that ended up being true. Well, I mean, I think that it wasn't always that, right? So I think that it became that, and hey, that's where we are. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's where we are. I mean, it's I won't say it's unfortunate and the reason why I won't say it's unfortunate is this, and no offense to anybody. But the reason I won't say that it's unfortunate is that the Bulls needed change. We needed something to happen with this franchise to cause change. Now, all change isn't good change, and the Bulls are going to have to prove that whatever changes are happening are going to be good changes for the team. But sometimes you have to be forced into making changes, and maybe that's what we're seeing here. Maybe, and I say maybe because you never know. So we shall see. You're right, LOL. I'm just not over it, still over it, and never will be. Ayo deserved here better, but I'm happy for him and will be rooting for him in the play. Oh yeah, listen, I didn't say that to like knock you, so I hope it didn't come off that way. Like, I understand your frustration. I understand all fans. Hell, I'm frustrated. I love Ayo Dosunmu. But I mean, in the reality of it, like, listen, Ayo's great. And Ayo is an absolute amazing player, and I wish the best for Ayo Dosunmu. I think that he is going to have a chance to legitimately win Sixth Man of the Year next season. I really think that. I think Ayo Dosunmu is going to have a real chance to win Sixth Man of the Year next season. But with that said, I gotta admit and say like, it may have been best for him. Like, sometimes, and the Bulls, I think the Bulls AK did consider where he was sending Ayo Dosunmu. And I think that, he wanted to do one of his draftees a solid. And he sent him to a situation where he's going to be able to thrive. He's going to be able to beat him, play off Anthony Edwards. You see the Minnesota Timberwolves fans are really starting to love Ayo Dosunmu. I love that, like, and I know they do it trying to be petty, right? And I get that, because, like, I would do that too if it was my squad and we got somebody like Ayo. But Minnesota Timberwolves fans come here all the time like, thank you for Ayo, and I always respond, you're welcome. Like, hey, he's going to do great for you, because he is, and he's a really damn good player. And I love to see him get an opportunity to go somewhere and win some basketball games, because winning doesn't seem like it's coming here. We won't know winning for a while here. Haize, if you had to choose one or the other, would you rather kick out AK or Billy? I mean, here's the thing, and I said this before when I was asked this, it was like a week or so ago. I'd say AK only because it's very unlikely a president of basketball operations doesn't want to hire their own coach, because I want to see both their asses go at this point, to be 100% honest with you. I want to see both their asses go. So I'd say AK only because I think going the AK route gets everybody gone, because a new person's going to come in, they're going to want to put their imprint on the team, and yeah, that's just my thought process on that one. Me and my girl on the way to the game just wanted to give you your flowers. Appreciate you, brother. Hold on. See, when you get congested, this is why people stay congested more often. Break it up with some whiskey. Y'all be trying to drink water when you're congested. I drink Woodford Reserve. Clears you right on up. Drink some whiskey. That's what our parents used to do back in the day. They put a little whiskey on the baby's tongue. But I mean, hey, I appreciate you stopping by on your way to the game. I hope that you get to see an entertaining game. Win or lose, I hope you really get to see an entertaining game. And everybody who decides to spend their money to go to a game deserves to see be entertained by the game that they're watching. And that's just my mindset. So, we'll see what happens. Both, absolutely both, right? And in reality, are both of them going to go? Probably not. Probably not. AK is probably going to get a chance to continue here, and Bulls fans are going to whine and complain about it, and I understand it. But, overall, it will be almost too much like right? And the reason why I say that is this would be the perfect time to change your front office. And I've explained this on live streams before, right, is that you have a clear cap sheet, you have a top 10 pick, you have all the cap space in the world, and you have a roster that is ready to come in and naturally is at a pivot point where you got to make considerable changes to the roster anyway. This would be the perfect time to bring in a new GM and head coach, because then they can collaborate on their shared vision of where they want to go with the roster, and they can try to execute it with cap space, draft picks, and everything else. But it's too much like right, so it's probably not going to happen. Shout out to Scotty with the super chat for the $4.99 super chat. We appreciate you, Brody. Says, can the Bucks outwin the Bulls, Blazers, outwin the Clippers, and the Pelicans, give the Bulls a high second rounder? I mean, we'll see. I think about this, right? The Pelicans pick, which I think was 34th or something like that when we initially traded for it, it's like 37th now. Portland doesn't necessarily have to outwin because they go to the play-in. Either they have to win the play-in. The reason why I keep talking about them making it to 8th is because they have 2 opportunities to win 1 game. But we'll see. Right now, we got a game lead over the Milwaukee Bucks, so we got a full game lead. We just got to keep losing. 7 games left. If I'm not mistaken, if the Bulls lose 5 out of these 7 games, they're locked in. Something like that. It's some discrepancy like that. I guess we'll see. That's a good point. Having a new GM, want a new coach, especially if Billy kind of wants out anyway. Exactly. Kind of a natural pivot point. Sup, dog? I'm with you with the lack of trust right now, but I expect lots of changes because Pax had to go to Jerry first. Fast forward 7 years later, Billy complaining to the Rams. There's kind of similar situations. Yeah, kind of, sort of, but you got to keep in mind, though, like, Pax had been between being the GM and then being the president, what was it, 16 years? Something like that. So, like, it's a little bit different. And Pax wasn't going to rat out a head coach. Like, it's different when your president of basketball operations go to you and says, I can't do this, than a coach come to you and says, hey, the president needs to get up out of here or am I gone? So, and maybe that's just also me mentally not wanting to think the Reinsdorfs would do anything sensible, because I just don't trust the Reinsdorfs at all. But, we'll see what happens there. For a franchise who did everything to keep Billy Donovan here with little results because they had the likeness for him, if he wants to leave, if AK stays, then that says more about AK. Hey, I can feel that. I can feel that angle. I can feel where you're coming from there. Hey, it's a quick question for you. Would you rather the Bulls get a top 4 pick or the Portland pick to convey and we get 10 through 15? Ooh, that's a great question. I'd still say top 4 because I think if you can walk away with AJ DeBonsa, it changes your franchise completely. And I think AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson. I'm not as high on Cam Boozer, but I think those guys do enough for your franchise. Except I think Cam's going to be damn good, but I don't think Cam's going to be a franchise player that like the number 1 on the championship team. But those guys may do enough for your franchise more so. But to have pick number 10 or pick number 9 and pick number 15 in this draft, that could do a lot for you too. So, I'd say, though, I'd rather top 4. I'd say the top 4 if you guarantee you can get AJ DeBonsa or Darren Peterson. If you can guarantee that you're getting one of those 2 guys out of that top 4, I'd say that probably does more for your franchise than getting number 9 and number 15, right? But, we'll see. But didn't Gar do that as well near the end? He wasn't vibing with John, if I remember correctly. I don't ever remember that. I remember that they stopped Gar Forman from talking to media because he couldn't talk. He doesn't know how to talk to people. So Pax went back and started much like we see now, with AK being the president and talking to media more than Mark Eversley. But I don't think there was ever contention, but maybe I'm just not remembering right. I mean, at this point, that was 7-8 years ago. So maybe I'm just misremembering something. Portland has a new owner, by the way. He attended the first game the other day with the win over the Clippers. Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. Something just happened. All right. don't get me wrong, Billy's a problem too because a lot of coaches with this record would have gotten fired a long time ago. So if the relationship seems to deteriorating, then AK got to go. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that I said it before when I pulled all the stuff. There's never been a coach in professional sports to have 4 straight losing seasons and 5 out of 6 losing seasons and keep their job. Like, Billy is literally making history by keeping his job here in Chicago. That's just the reality of the situation. Now, whether that means that the Bulls are going to or should do something, that is what it is. It's out of our control. But I think a reset's needed. I honestly think it's just time for a reset. I think it's time for the Chicago Bulls to just reconstruct this franchise, man. And reconstruction's happening one way with the roster, at least one way or another this season. But I just think it's time for more than that. I think you got to do more than that. Also, it's Benny. Shout out to Benny the Bull. Maybe I should have put on my Benny the Bull hat. Maybe that's what I should have done. But, nonetheless, here we are. Michelle says, and we agree, AK gotta go. I mean, here's the thing. We can all agree for it, but the people that need to be the ones that think it's time for AK to go, I don't know if I trust them to think it's time for AK to go. That's just me being real about it. I don't know if I trust that they're going to look at this situation and be like, yeah, it's time for AK to get the hell up out of here. Now, if they do, great. Like, if the Rhymesters finally, whether it's Michael, Jerry, whoever, finally look at this team and they're like, listen, this ain't working. Something got to give here, and we got to make a move. Then great, so be it. I just don't trust it right now. I just don't trust it. Yay, Benny's birthday. Benny and I almost have the same birthday at this age. I prefer Benny's birthday. That's hilarious. That's funny. But we'll see, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. That's my mindset with it. It's going to be what it's going to be, and ain't in none of our control. And whatever happens is what happens. What was your first red flag about AK? People said it was when he drafted P. Will, which I want to give a chance to on the first job, but to me, is when he traded Daniel Gafford. Listen, neither one of those. Trading Daniel Gafford was neither here nor there. And P. Will, at the time, looked like the right pick. So if you're talking about what was the first red flag, like in live, right, as far as the decision that he made, because at the time that P. Will got picked, I can't say that I felt like that was a red flag. When he drafted P. Will 4th overall and P. Will played his rookie season, it looked like he made the right decision. Trading Daniel Gafford is neither here nor there. I don't think Daniel Gafford wasn't going to alter what the fuck the Bulls went through. My thing was when he drafted Dalen Terry over Walker Kessler. That was the first red flag for me. Because everything leading into that draft, that offseason, was that the Bulls needed a big, the Bulls needed rim protection. And then at that point, you got to keep in mind, too, that was, 2 years into then AK, and into Nikola Vucevic being here. And we all knew, Vooch was a free agent, another year after that. We all started seeing Vooch not necessarily being what we needed with even with Zach and DeMar. I think if you would have drafted Walker Kessler over Dalen Terry at that point, just think about what difference that makes for the franchise. A, you probably don't re-sign Nikola Vucevic then. You probably don't re-sign Vooch, which is perfectly fine, right? So Vooch wouldn't have been on the deal that he was on after that. You have a big that even when you look at moves down the road that happen, like now you hear the Bulls are ready to give a big offer sheet for Walker Kessler because they feel like he can fit with Josh Giddey. If everything stays the same, that was a huge red flag. So that was the first one in real time. Now, of course, the ones in retrospect, about 2 years in the P. Will, 2.5 seasons in the P. Will being here was like, this nigga suck. What are we doing? Yeah. So, and keep in mind, and Dalen Terry was that player that, we didn't even scout. I can't say we didn't scout, but we didn't even bring in for a workout. I don't want Billy to stay either, but we can all agree that Donovan is much more qualified mind than Ettore. I disagree there. I listen, Billy Donovan is a really good college coach. And all we've seen from Billy Donovan so far in his NBA coaching career is that when he had 2 all-stars, he was able to coach a pretty damn good team. And, he did coach up that Chris Paul, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander team that ended up going to the playoffs when people didn't expect it, right? He coached up that team, too, and I'll give him credit for that. But, he came in here with the 61 win percentage, but he had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook for part of that time. And then he have 1 year of Harden, too. Was the Harden already gone by then? I can't remember. I'm not going to act like I remember. So, I can't say that I've seen – because, the Bulls' chances of having 2 stars the caliber of Russell Westbrook and and Kevin Durant at any point in time are very, very slim. So I don't know if I agree with that. Yes, we agree. I love Dalen with that pick. Saying as far as here's where I think I got to disagree with you again on that one. Like AK was everybody in Denver has talked about it. AK was one of the biggest voices about drafting Nikola Jokic, and he scouted Jokic for 2 years before they drafted him. He keep in mind, AK was the guy that did the trade with the Bulls where we traded with Doug McDermott and gave them Yusuf Nurkic and I can't remember the other player in that deal. Great move. He also drafted Michael Porter Jr. Also, put the coaches around that, right? Was one of the voices in the room to hire Mike Malone, even though they never really got around. So I can't say that I agree that Billy Donovan has more and that's why past success doesn't guarantee future success. And every job is so unique in what you need to do in that job to make it successful. It seems like AK has this thing against bigs and defensive size, even when we needed someone to pair with Vooch perfectly. Noah can maybe be that guy, but we needed more depth in that area for years. I mean, we did bring in Andre Drummond. That was in the third year of AK, the first year after Alonzo Ball and DeMar, the first offseason after those guys signed. We'll see. We'll see. We need to lose today, seriously. Okay. Gary Harris, okay. And if I'm not mistaken, Gary Harris was pretty damn good like his first 4 years in the league. So I think about those things. But all right, y'all, go get ready to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in to another pregame show here at Chicago Bulls Central. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. Send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270. Wait, hold on. I want to address this real quick. We can't get the fifth pick. So the lottery is just the top 4 picks. So either we stay at 9 or 10, depending on where we finish. We can move 4 spots down if teams pass us, or we can move up to the top 4. We cannot get the 5th overall pick. It's impossible for us to get the 5th overall pick. I just wanted to add that clarity just because I don't think people always understand how the draft lottery works. It's impossible for us to get the 5th overall pick. It's literally not a possibility. So I just wanted to clarify that. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See Red, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.